also realizing that, we can all support each other through the hardships that we've gone through to get to where we are today. I think that's really important. So basically 1 month ago, I was on my way to Mexico when my heart suddenly started racing, my body started trembling. I lost my sense of self as impending doom came upon me, and thoughts that I would die or commit suicide came upon me. I felt like I had lost control, that I was going insane, and I just didn't really understand what was happening to me at that moment. So a few moments passed, and the feeling subsided, and I went through my day trying to understand what had happened. And I was just really on edge and kind of scared of everything that was happening around me. So I didn't realize it was a panic attack until one of my friends told me that it was a panic attack. And that actually stopped my trip to Mexico, and I postponed it, flew back home to be home with family. And for many days, I really had no hope of getting better. Like, I was crying, I was anxious, I was really scared, and I just felt like no one understood what was going on around me. So this whole incident caused me to really take a hard look at myself and how this could have happened. And basically, what it helped me realize was that for the past year and a half, I pushed myself so hard to the point that I completely neglected self-care, and I put my business first and forgot that in order for me to succeed and be able to help others, I needed to take care of myself first. How many of you guys are doing that right now? How many of you are just putting self-care on the back burner and kind of just pushing yourself through um, with your day-to-day task because you want to reach a goal, or you want to, get to the next stage of your business or something like that? Let me know in the chat box. I would love to hear you guys' story, because I know that, a lot of people tend to do this all of the time. You focus on chasing the goals and chasing after your dreams, and you kind of just really neglect that self-care. Awesome. So thanks, Ariana and Angela. Yeah, sometimes even if we're not putting it on the back burner, but kind of just like pushing it to the side, right? I think we forget to slow down, and that's why it's so important for us to really focus on that. Um, so I think one thing that I also wanted to bring up was, when I listen to a lot of motivational speakers and things like that, they kind of, there's this culture where they kind of tell you to keep pushing through and to make you feel inadequate if you're not doing enough. So this cycle of pushing through and neglecting yourself can become perpetuated, and one day you're in so far past that point that you may go through what I went through or something along those lines. Um, so my question to you guys is, how far are you willing to betray yourself before you realize that at the end of the day, none of these things matter, that you matter the most, and it's important for you to take care of yourself, because then your um, your business and everything else will flourish, right? But if you continue to kind of just like push aside that aspect, um, things are going to get, potentially get bad before they get better. So to me, the ultimate freedom and happiness really comes from truly taking care of yourself and honoring yourself, and also really being in the present moment, right? Because sometimes um, we get caught up in chasing the dream that we forget to just be happy where we are. And when you know that right now that you are enough and that you always have been and you always will be, then that chase to like happiness, success, and freedom won't be as intense as it is now. So right now, I just want to say, wherever you guys are, this in this present moment, this is where you're meant to be, and this is, you know, the space and time for you to begin taking care of yourself, and focusing on self-care first. And I'm not talking about self-care as in like taking a bath or spoiling yourself a little bit. I'm talking about doing some real work. So doing things like nourishing your mind, your body, your soul, um, doing journaling, meditating, laughing. I think sometimes in life we can take things a bit too seriously that we forget to just, enjoy simple things as laughing and, acting like a kid or enjoying ourselves in whatever way that means. And I'm also talking about, doing a lot of self-reflection and also acknowledging your accomplishments. I think, you know, uh, we're often able to like acknowledge other people for their accomplishments, but when it comes to ourselves, we kind of um, forget to acknowledge that we've achieved so much, even if they're little things. But all of those little things add up, and that's how you also build your confidence and your self-esteem. So I'm also talking about, how you talk to yourself when failure arises, or new challenges come. So are you talking to yourself in a negative, like condescending way? Or are you, being kind to yourself, being compassionate to yourself? And I'm also talking about, slowing down when you want to speed up, which is the most important thing, I think, especially right now. And then I'm also talking about, just allowing yourself the space and time to just really be present and enjoy where you're at right now and realizing that this is enough, who you are in this moment is enough. And also, I'm talking about, forgiving yourself for your past mistakes. I think we always work on forgiving other people, but we forget to forgive ourselves. So that's also really important as well. And then also just releasing any guilt and shame or fear that you might be holding on to. Um, and of course, really taking care of your mental health before it's too late. So that can mean, meditating, journaling, asking for support when you need it, and then also just dedicating time to really love yourself and be with yourself. And then last but not least is being your own cheerleader. So that's my little spiel about self-care for entrepreneurs. I know that we can go a lot more in depth with it, but I just wanted to do a really short one today so that we can focus on the RTT session. So if you guys aren't familiar with RTT, it's basically a hypnotherapy session. Basically, you're in control the entire time, but I'm open to answering any questions before we get started if you guys have any. It'll probably be around 30 minutes or so. It's kind of just to get you to relax, also installing the cheerleader, so removing the voice of that inner critic and allowing yourself to be your inner cheerleader. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat box before we get started. Thank you guys. So if there are no other questions, I would love to get started. So wherever you guys are, just get really comfortable, whether you're sitting or lying down. And go ahead and just take a nice deep inhale for me. And as you exhale, go ahead and just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. That's perfect. The muscles and nerves in and around your eyes are becoming heavy, droopy, drowsy. They're starting to feel as if they've been glued shut, sealed shut, locked tight. And the harder you try to open your eyes, the more they feel absolutely glued shut, locked tight. Now just forget all about your eyes and allow your drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body. I want you to just tilt your chin a fraction so you can get that same looking down sensation as if looking over a balcony or down 10 steps. That's perfect. And as I count down, see your feet, hear your feet, and feel your feet at each and every step as you go deeper. Right now, you're moving on to step 10 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. We're moving on to step 9. You can see your feet, hear your feet, and feel your feet getting each and every step as you go deeper. Moving on to step 8, with every breath you take, you are going deeper and deeper. Moving on to step 7 and 6, and every sound, every noise, every movement around you is carrying you much, much deeper. Moving on to step 5, and you're halfway down. That's perfect. Just go deeper. Moving on to step 4, then 3. Going deeper into an awareness of yourself. Moving on to step 2. Going deeper into your own internal space. Moving on to step 1. Just go deeper, drift deeper, and sink deeper. And every time I say the words go deeper or click my fingers, you are going deeper and deeper and even deeper still into the most pleasant and healing, wonderful state of hypnosis. And you really, really love it. That's perfect. Now, hypnosis is not about being asleep. It's about being a suggestible state. And you guys are doing an incredible job. So as you begin to fully relax in this present moment now, I want you to just allow that drifting, floating feeling to continue as you go deeper. And as you go deeper, you are listening with your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind is drifting further and further away. You have so much potential in your subconscious mind, and you're allowing your subconscious mind to listen. Take in everything while your conscious attention can just drift away. So allow yourself to drift deeper and deeper. That's right, you're doing perfect. Now as you find yourself in this beautiful, relaxed state, I'm going to just count you back from the scene in your mind of you just being born. And you're going to notice that as a tiny newborn baby, you are full of potential, new and shiny, and you are born with the belief inside you that you can do anything, ask for anything you need or want, and that you are born with this inner coach or cheerleader active and alive within you. So right now, on the count of 5, you're drifting back to a vivid, vital, crucial scene that has to do with being a newborn baby. On the count of 4, you are drifting back. On the count of 3, years, months, weeks, days, peeling away from your body as you go right back to this vivid, vital, crucial, and significant scene, being a tiny baby full of potential. On the count of 2, you are younger, smaller, lighter, shorter, lifting back to being this tiny child brimming with potential. And just be there. And as I click my fingers, it's like you have lifted up the lid on your computer and switched it on, and suddenly a picture has filled up the screen, and you are right in the middle of that picture. And in the scene where you are just a baby, you are a baby that believes, like all babies ever born, that you are fascinating, gorgeous, intelligent. You know that all of your needs are going to be met. Not long ago, you were in a womb where you had room service. All your needs were being met every second of the day and night. And you were connected intimately with someone else, and they were also connected to you. Every need that you had, the warmth, safety, protection, nourishment, it was all there. And now you have come onto the planet and left the room, but you still have that belief that all your needs will be met. Feel like the center of the universe, and don't worry about not getting your needs met. You know that what you need is available to you. Again, applause for everything that you do, and at this early age, you have this inner cheerleader and coach inside of you. Tells you everything you want and need is available to you. You knew that you were enough just the way you are. You did not worry that you needed to change something about yourself to be worthy of love. You had these beliefs at a very, very early age that you belonged and that you were connected. When you were this tiny baby, you had all these wonderful beliefs about yourself and your world. When you were learning to eat and you couldn't get the spoon to fit in your mouth quite right, you didn't berate yourself or give up. You did not feel inadequate. No, you had this inner cheerleader inside of you that kept spurring you on. It never occurred to you that you would fail or not be able to accomplish anything you set your mind to. When you were learning to walk, you fell, but you kept trying. You did not worry or feel bad about yourself, and you never thought that surely you would not be able to learn. You knew that you would succeed, and you kept trying, and you did. You never gave up on anything. You learned to talk, you learned to walk. In fact, every day you learned new things, and every month you had new and amazing accomplishments. You managed to accomplish all of these things, and that inner cheerleader within you always told you, you can do this, and you believed that you would succeed. You knew that you were amazing, and you knew that you were full of potential. Just take a few moments and just really embrace this scene when you were just a newborn baby. All of these amazing things available to you. That's perfect. Now I want you to just imagine that this little baby is floating above your head. And I want you to imagine that this baby is slowly descending down, merging down into your heart. emerging down into your life right now. Little inner child and cheerleader is taking up residence in you once again, taking up residence in your heart and in your mind, moving into your body, moving into your heart, moving into your soul. Now, once again, you can see your life through the eyes of your inner cheerleader. Your cheerleader's job is to encourage you every minute of the day and night. You now see yourself through that cheerleader's eyes. You hear great things about yourself, and your cheerleader's job is to believe in you 24/7. That cheerleader is being installed into you right now. It is becoming you, and you are becoming the cheerleader. And the cheerleader is part of you once again. You understand that your mind's job is to do what it thinks you want to do, and your job is to tell it what you want it to do. You can now tell your mind that you want the cheerleader to be with you every second of the day, building you up, crushing depression with words of hope, shredding anxiety with words of truth, showing you your true inner and outer beauty, demonstrating to you that you can succeed. Cheerleader will now tell you forevermore that you can accomplish what you want, that you can have your needs met, that you can connect with others. Cheerleader and coach tells you every day that you are enough just as you are. And the cheerleader knows that you are not perfect, but that you are still enough and you will always be enough. Tells you every day that you can accomplish your goals. And the cheerleader knows that you have what it takes to succeed at anything you set your mind to. It knows that what you need to succeed is available to you. When you need wisdom, you know where to find it. You seek out the mentors, the books. You research and you find the truth. You have the skills to succeed, and your inner cheerleader tells you that you can practice and perfect every skill that you desire to develop. Just like that tiny child learning to feed himself or herself, or learning to walk and not giving up. You will keep going until you triumph at everything you set your mind to. Your cheerleader knows you need determination, so keep going. And it is ever there beside you, spurring you on, cheering you on, with a voice that keeps telling you to keep going, keep practicing, keep striving, and to keep moving forward because you are destined to succeed. So now I want you to just take the time to tell your inner cheerleader and coach what you need it to say to you, to encourage you. Tell them what you need in your mind. Tell them what you want to hear about your future, about your relationships, about your health. And tell that cheerleader anything else you wanted to say about any other areas of your life where you need its encouragement. And I want you to just envision right now that this cheerleader's voice getting louder and louder as it rises up inside you, helping you gain strength and power. It speaks louder and louder, 10 times louder, 20 times louder. Voice of the inner cheerleader is becoming louder, bolder, crisper, sharper, and clearer, more than that voice of the inner critic ever did. And the louder your inner cheerleader speaks, the more it fills every part of you, and the inner critic becomes smaller and smaller inside of you. Now just imagine that the voice of the inner critic is just fading away into the distance as the voice of the inner cheerleader continues to raise. And if you ever find that small critic trying to rise up again inside you, you will only hear a squeaky, puny, weak, and meaningless voice. You will push that voice aside as you embrace and turn your ear to the voice of your inner cheerleader. Voice that speaks the truth of how lovable, capable, intelligent, creative, successful, and resilient you are. You will listen only to the voice of the cheerleader inside of you that tells you that you are enough just the way you are. You will listen only to that voice that tells you that you are lovable and worthy of connection. And you will listen only to the voice that tells you that you are enough. You know that you will achieve what you want in life, and this voice, the voice of the cheerleader, speaks so loudly, and as you know it, the truth. You know it right, and you know and understand. Critic was a liar, and you cannot, will not, ever listen to the voice of the inner critic again. Because from now on, you have this inner cheerleader and coach with you that will always be with you, cheers you on, praises you, uplifts you, and encourages you, and spurs you on to success. And now I would like you to just take a nice deep inhale. Just begin to wiggle your fingers and toes as you bring your awareness back into the room, back into your surroundings, feeling amazing, feeling confident, and feeling free. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope that was relaxing for you guys. If you have any feedback or comments, feel free to share. I also wanted to go over a couple things on my website for you guys. Sorry. If you go to the right over here, on my website, thedreamlifefoundation.com/meditations, I have a list of all the meditations that I have created personally, and they're all free to listen to. So if you need some time to just unwind and relax, feel free to check out my website and check out those meditations. Otherwise, you can find me at thedreamlifefoundation.com. If you have any questions or concerns about hypnotherapy or RTT, feel free to send it in the chat box. Also, I'll be hanging out around on campus if you guys want to meet up and chat later. So thank you guys so much for joining me today.